Hey, here we go. Okay, so I spent the morning operating as though it was Wednesday. So, we're having a great start. Actually, I really am having a great start, and I'll tell you why. I got this device yesterday, and I showed everybody it. I'm going to walk you through it and some of the substantial changes it's made to my situation. But it's this thing that I'm talking about. But before we get into this massive piece of technology, let's take a look at today's page. Hi, Miriam. Welcome aboard. You had a great stream. I really like the. Was it a candelabra that you were making, or was it a menorah? Menorah? Is that what you call it with the multiple candles? You like my hat? It's my style. Take a look at this action. I've got. Woohoo! Hold on. There it is. Look at the engine block on that truck. Santa's serious about delivering presents. Okay, so yeah. Lori pulled out my Christmas shirts and she said you should wear those. And I do what I'm told. So here we go. Welcome aboard, Katura. Is Katura, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Oh, it's Yanuka. Hanukkah? Yanukia? I'm sorry. I'm absolutely the worst at pronouncing anything, and I apologize. Welcome aboard, Katura. And thank you for subscribing to the YouTube. That's pretty cool. I hope you like what we're doing and have some fun. That goes for everybody that has subscribed of late. We're having a lot of fun. Okay, so is that an ugly t-shirt? It's a Christmas shirt, and they are only ever ugly. You're hard-pressed to find ones that you look at and go, what are those? Lori went to a lunch with the staff at her workplace, and they were all wearing awful Christmas sweaters, which is a tradition at Christmas time here in North America and amongst many people. And it was just like a contest for who had the ugliest sweater. So Corbin's sleeping beside me. Let me see if I can get the camera on him. There he is. Look at that lazy boy. So, I'm going to try not to wake him. Nothing. Okay. Thank you. It's a thing, ugly sweaters. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I had my tuxedo sweater on yesterday for those that were on the stream. Okay, so this is today's page. Let's get running into things. I got stuff to show you and exciting stuff in the work. So today, the page that I posted today was suggested as a pathway to telepathy. It sounds very fancy. The pathway to telepathy. What I didn't realize when this person had wrote down this suggestion on one of the billets that we were handing out at the London Comic Con is they put their name down as Pat H. It says the path, P-A-T-H, way to telepath, P-A-T-H-E. And then they signed their name as Pat H. And I didn't notice that. I just assumed their name was Pat because my mother's name is Pat. So, I don't think that's the real name. Either way, Pat H. I did the page today, and I did it rather silly. This is the government, whichever government you'd like, trying to develop telepathy in people by using convicts and military servicemen that have no idea that they're being part of a program until they make it to the second round. And then the ways that they're trying to further develop the telepathy beyond inoculations is by pushing people down the stairs, hitting them with cricket bats, and making them eat oatmeal. I don't know. This is legitimate as anything else, really. It's one of those arbitrary arguments. Well, did it work? Well, does anything work? Or we'd all be telepathic? I don't know that we're ready for that. Okay, so that's today's page. Now, I got a fun development here. Watch this. I've got this new device. Hi, Chris. How are you? So this is this new device that I picked up. It's just 9 buttons on a little thing. It costs a nominal amount of money compared to how expensive a lot of technologies are. But it's got 6 layers of coding. And as soon as I figured out how to code, oh, Nelly, am I in trouble. They did a movie with Men Who Sleep with Goats. I have not seen that. I have not watched Men Sleep with Goats. But, is that a real movie? Men Who Slept with Goats? I got to look that up. That's fun. Hi, Christopher. My YouTube app kept crashing. I was trying to join in, so I switched to the browser on my iPad. Well, I'm glad you're here, Chris. I want to show you something fun. So this device that I showed you, I just pressed a button, and the banner disappeared. Now, I've also got it set up so that I disappear, or I reappear with the press of buttons. My overhead camera can turn, oops, hold on, I got it underneath the layers. The window camera can turn off. The overhead camera can turn on. I've got all these little buttons set up so that, there it is, there's the overhead off. And these are all programmed into these buttons. Riri is at the ophthalmologist's office, lurking, sheltering, balcony in, quietly listening. All the other ways. You should. It's good. It's a correct. I think it's a correct title. I have to watch this now. Thank you for that recommendation. Hiya, Yolanda. Okay, so this tool that I picked up, my mother-in-law gave me birthday money, and this is what I bought. And it's such a silly thing. It's just 9 buttons, but because I can do things with it, because I can, make these things happen with a simple press of a button now, I no longer have to fart around through all these screens. And it's by Vaydeer, Vaydeer. It was $40 Canadian, which is like a nickel American, or unfortunately, $600 Mexican. With how much it costs poor Chris to get stuff sent to her. Men Who Stare at Goats. Men Who Stare at Goats. Well, that's going to have to be written down, because that's a film I have not seen, and that doesn't happen often. Men Who Stare at Goats, unless it's a Harlequin romance. And even then, all these Christmas movies where the girl moves back home to the small town where she meets the normal little guy around town who turns out to be a billionaire. Anyways, crying. Don't cry. Is that the legato? No. So this is the Vaydeer 9-button machine. Devin, you're like David Copperfield now. Magic. Well, so this is the thing. It's a film that we've all been recommended to go watch. I don't know what we're getting into here, folks. It's interesting that as soon as you show up and you recommend a movie called Men Who Stare at Goats, everybody goes, all right. It's probably a great movie. I'm gonna watch it though. Okay, now slow down, Riri. Okay, so the thing about this button, and I'm going to adjust my screens here. Now, I have, as you can see, on the side of the screen, you can see how I'm triggering these different layers. And the reason that I have, now I'm going to write down Marcel the Shell. Marcel the Shell. Okay, I'm writing it down. What in the world are you guys recommending me? You say to my wife, hey, hon, you want to watch Men Who Stare at Goats? And she'll be like, Christopher, can we watch a normal show? That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. Okay. Well, Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Even better. There's a movie called Dave Dies at the End. The movie, but the title, that's great. Okay, so everybody take a look at these 2 movies that are recommended, please. by Katura, if I pronounce that right, and if I haven't, please correct me. I want to get your name right. So thank you for the suggestion. That sounds like fun. Men who stare at goats. I think I remember it being publicized, but I don't remember anything about what it's about. Apparently, it's men, goats, and a bit of eye contact. So the yes. Okay, good. All right, so here's what I've figured out. Now, I've got 5 layers of this 9-button thing. I have that many buttons that I can use. And amongst those layers, I can turn on my internet, or I can turn on my browser, right, that has all the websites on it, turn on my scanner, turn on Photoshop, turn on OBS, right? That's one layer. I've got lots of open spots on that layer, by the way. The next one is for my websites, where I've got, YouTube in general, so I can watch everybody else's videos. My YouTube, so I can do the things I need to do. Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, StreamYard, Gmail, and then the behind-the-scenes thing that I fix my website with, and then my website. And that's on just one layer. That's assigned to each of these 9 buttons. And the great part of it is it comes up on the screen. I'm not trying to sell this product, by the way, because who's going to look at this anyways? But it's an auxiliary keyboard. So you don't have to monkey around with all these things on your keyboard and have your big keyboard in your way. Little 9-button sucker. So it hooks to your computer. Yeah. So here's the other part. The next layer that I've got, the next 2 layers, by the way, that I have, is for Photoshop. One has got the cut and paste. Ones can move the things around. One's like for putting typing on. One's for opening files. One's for saving files. One's for duplicating layers, making new layers. And then I set up on each of these screens an enter. So I don't even have to reach over and press enter on my keyboard. I can do it with the ninth button. But better than that, the previous screen is set up just so that I can turn things. Now, if you look at the left side of the screen, I have got, let's start, let me switch screens. Okay, so watch the left side of the screen on Photoshop. The first button is for the cursor that moves things around on it, right? The second one's for the rectangular drag, this bit of business, right? The third one is for the polygonal lasso, which makes shapes of whatever I want. And then the fourth one puts it on the brushes. The fifth one puts it on the eraser to erase. Hold on, I'll make the eraser bigger and set it on full. There we go. So I can erase things now, right? The fifth one is a paint bucket, right? What happened? And then the sixth one is what's the transforming tool. So if I go, see how I move my cursor over there, and I got to get away from that habit. So if I do this, the sixth button hits the transform thing. The transform setting is where let me show you. If I take, all right, now if I switch to the rectangular tool, put it on transform, I can manipulate this in whatever way I want, switch it around, warp it. I can contort all the lines, whatever way I want. So all of these functions, and then the enter button makes it, that's the way it is. So all of these different buttons. Oh, and the last thing is if I do this and then I hit stroke, this lets me fill it in as a border. And this is how I draw the borders on my panels. So I have all of this programmed into this 9-button thing. So in addition to being able to play with, I'm managing my OBS with this, and I'm managing my Photoshop and all of the things that I do when I'm drawing with this. It's programmed to do both, plus open up whatever programs I needed to open, plus saving files, opening files, whatever else I needed to do. And then the other thing that I haven't programmed yet is to put text on. It just, each button has 140 characters of text loaded into it. So if I am posting today on Instagram, which I already did, I can just click on the posting part, hit button 1, and it fills in the same text that I can put on everything. And one says hello, one says goodbye, one says who farted. Like, it's just, this was $40 Canadian. So that's like probably 25 American. Hiya, Jim. Welcome aboard, sir. Jim was interviewed last night by Jeremy Jeremy Burley, and it was an really interesting interview talking about Jim's process. So if anybody gets an opportunity, please go check it out. It's a really great interview. Congratulations for that, Jim. Devin said, not familiar with, Yolanda says, I'm not familiar with Photoshop. I use Procreate. It works on Procreate too. You just have to go into Procreate, go into the systems or the settings, look up its hotkeys, and then you're just putting those shortcuts and assigning them to a key, and it operates your Procreate functions. So if there's anything in Procreate that you need to press any buttons or move your hand around, clicking different things around the screen, you don't have to do that anymore, because you can just sit here with your left hand, click, 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 while you're doing whatever you need to do with your right hand. So it works with Procreate as well. Just look up and see any advisories that people have about it. But there's all these things that say, download this, download that. Don't download anything. It's all built in. You just have to look up the hotkeys in different places. Yeah, and Katrina, that should work for you as well. Great birthday gift to yourself. I really love my mother-in-law. She's an absolute grace, and she's gone through the hardship of losing her husband in September, and we care for her so much. And yet, we're still like giant children to her, and so she's like, here's a little something for Christopher's birthday. I was like, that's not necessary. I really want to do that. And which is so lovely, So she gave me $100, and this is what I bought. And the rest of it I'm going to spend on presents for other people. So, Lori, don't tell her. Thank you for turning in last night, Chris. Oh, it was great. It was great to watch. Tuning in last night. I still read it as turning. What a maniac. An autocorrect mouse integrated? Maybe. I don't know. I don't use autocorrect in the first place. I'm a word nerd, so I tend to be pretty good with spelling. Lori would correct that. I use Procreate on my iPad. So here's the beautiful thing about this sucker. When you buy this, you get a USB connection. You also get a USB-C. And if you've got a charger thing for your iPad that's a USB-C, it plugs in to that. You can also download a program to make it wireless. I've looked into all this stuff because I think this is the most miraculous thing. And if I can figure out ways to make everybody's world easier, there's 2 humps to get over, said the camel to the back. The first one is programming it in. That can take a moment. It took me about 2 hours last night to program all these layers, because I'm a nerd. And I'm not a tech guy. And if I can do it and I'm not a tech guy, and then the second hump is habit. It's the same as anything else. It's habitual. I keep wanting to move the mouse across the screen and to touch things over, on the opposite side, when I'm working over here, and I really don't need to. But I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it right now. So look into it. Here's the box. It's a fun little box. It's the picture of the actual device. It's not very big. Now, I got Gorilla Mitts, but it's Look at the size of it to my face. Okay, I got a giant head. Doesn't help. The spelling of it is Vaydeer. Okay, and there's the product. G9 Smart Keypad. I'm going to tell every creator I know this. Like if, let's say Jim, who is a professional animator, if Jim were to put this on his device, then cuts, pastes, he could program all of those things into here. You know, he could, for music manipulation, you could do that in here. There's a million things that you can use this. Use the Procreate Sisterhood. There we go. Very interesting. My iPad is USB-C. So I don't know if I can use my left hand and right hand simultaneously. When you type on a keyboard, do you use both your hands or do you do this? If you do this, I will agree with you. But if you in any way, shape, or form do this, yes, you can. It's the weirdest thing. Video, I got it. Bing! So that's my big, hey cats and kittens, check this out. So, yeah, this is the sort of thing I'm trying to encourage others to do for themselves. It's all right. So I'm going to put up a new layer. Sign the wrong screen. Is that why? Let me try something here. All right. Look at that. Open the layer for me. Hey, I'm a happy man. So, it's an interesting thing. Like I can't get over what this provides opportunity-wise for me to be able to do. And, you know, it's a strange thing. Now, I used to be somewhat ambidextrous, favored left. And then when I had my procedure when I was 28, my brain chemistry went off. And so as I'm learning to redo things, I'm predominantly right now, but I can still draw with my left. And so I don't know if that gives me any benefit, but if you could type with two hands, you should be able to figure this out. Very good, Yolanda. I'm not in that club. I got to join that club. As a book series of procreators. Anyways, I do everything with my pen, right hand, or the shortcut with the right fingers. Well, if that works for you, if that facilitates it for you, yeah, you know, I do type with both hands, so I guess I have no excuses now. Well, it's $40. Okay, so I've got my menu up for drawing. Okay, I've got a fresh new layer open. You could see I just clicked on it on the right side. The reason that I have put the stuff over here on the right, like the reason I have things up on the screen now, and I figured out how to do this. I'll get to you in a second, Dan. Forget it. It's trying to get the carriage return with my toes. Dan just showed his age when he does a typing joke. When I went to high school, we were very excited because I took typing in grade 9, and the school was very excited to have brand new electric typewriters. Yep. And then I went to a different school the following year because they closed the school that was a block away from my house down to turn it into an adult education center. So the next school I went to had 8, count them, 8 computers in the computer department, which had the raised floor and all the cabling. Oh, it's crazy. Oh my goodness, Dan, that's such a good joke. It took Yolanda a second to get it. All right, so yeah, typewriter joke. I love it. What was I talking about? Oh, I've got it set up now for to be able to do what I need to do with, like, I can knock myself off here. It's me again. So this means I can do cut editing on screen now, where I have different cameras aimed at me, and I'm like, hi, you know. turn the next camera on. I only have one camera turned on right now. So I can get my face out of the way so you can see what I'm doing on my screen, so that when I add, so now I'm Photoshop, okay, and I add a new layer, you can see it on the right side here. So when I say I'm going to add a new layer, you can see that. So I tried to put that in place for people so that you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. The only thing that doesn't open up is when I right click on something and a little box comes up on the screen that shows, what it is. I'm such a visual thinker that I have to show you with this with my hands. What this doesn't show is that when I use the right click button to open up a little talk box that says, do you want to open a new layer? And I say, yes. You can't see that part, but you can see everything else in between. But I'll tell you when I'm doing stuff. Okay. So sorry, I'm an idiot. Anyways. No one's more amused by this by me. I admit to it fully. It's the hat. It's doing things to me. Yeah, it didn't take the hat to do that. The snapping sound really is my fingers. All right, enough being a turkey. So today's page, all right, so now I'm on my screen. If you look at the side, see how the little light blue button is jumping to different things? It's because each of these things are programmed into this device. Okay? And what the benefit of that is that, as I'm writing something, okay, so if I'm illustrating an image, whatever that image is, and I want to change it up, I can just go from pencil or brush to eraser, brush to eraser, brush to eraser. So if I'm going to switch down the size of my eraser before I get crack-a-lackin'. Okay, so if I'm drawing, I'm on white. I'm drawing white on white, folks. It's okay. We're all in this together. All right, so if I'm drawing lines, random shapes of whatever, okay, really bad skull. Now, if I want to, just as easy as this, as I'm switching this in and I come back in and I smooth out a line, take out stuff, as easy as that. And it makes me take no time to click on the things on the left hand of the screen. But the most important thing of all of this is it saves my wrist, right? Miriam says that she does everything. I do everything with my toes. In summer, if something falls to the floor, I don't need to crouch. I grab things with my feet. You're always barefooted. Abracadabra. The same, Miriam. My husband hates that I'm barefoot all the time. I can't stand to be barefoot, says Yolanda. I always wear socks. I don't have a husband. I hate it. Well, there you go, Miriam. My husband's the same with Yolanda. He's always wearing socks. I notice that you have a wrist brace on. I don't actually. It's not a wrist brace. It's, hold on. It's a traction glove. I'll tell you what that means in a sec. Just give me 1 second. Corbin, stop climbing on me. I'm fighting with a cat as I'm talking to you here. Okay, so if this thing here is just a piece of, it's a glove. It's like a little silk glove. I had to order a special one because the one I got with my, well, Corbin's down. Corbin fell down and took everything out. What do we got? There we go. One button. So because your hand runs around on the glass surface of your monitor, if you put one of these gloves on, it saves you from one, getting your screen all dirty, but two, making marks with your hands. It's an attraction glove. Anyways, so chip my finger toe. Yeah, I've got big long toes too, but it's because I have giant feet. Women put their cold feet in their husband's buns in bed. Slow down now. Lori does that too. When I get into bed, she puts her cold feet on my feet because my feet are warm, and most of the time they were all the time until I got type 1, and then now I'm always cold, so I wear socks all the time. Never did before, ever. I wear shorts in the winter, and now I'm constantly cold. That's why I'm always wearing hats in my studio. So it's a traction glove. Yeah. So it lets you rest your hand easily on the surface of your screen while you're illustrating. Now, when I say my hand, what I'm actually talking about is my fingertips, because you should be drawing with your shoulder, not with your wrist. But it's your wrist that habit forming makes you go left and right across your screen. So if you can find one of these online, please do so. I would send people these, but from my box that I got with my screen, but I've already given them to somebody, so I can't do that. But you can order these online. It's like $10 for 3 or something like that. But I had to get extra large ones because gorilla. But draw with your shoulder, but you can rest your fingertips on things. I don't know how that works with iPads because my monitor that I draw on is 12 inches by 18. So just because, I do a lot of crazy stuff. So Yolanda asks if I'm trying to emulate Michael Jackson. All right, beat it with those kinds of jokes. Traction glove, there we go. I could use it often if I could find it. The glove is also helpful for doing the Vulcan greeting. Live long and prosper. There you are. So good. Okay, so just to get back to this, so it's literally, there's a little menu in the bottom right corner of your screen and it's labeled for what your buttons are, because the buttons just being black is because, and I thought, do they give me stickers to put what no, they don't have to. It's on your screen in the bottom right corner all the time. So that, and as you just touch the current layer part and roll your mouse, it goes to whatever layer that you need to use at the moment, whether it's OBS, which you see me switch back and forth to with the Photoshop one, and then the Photoshop one. I'm sorry, Katura. Devin is Yolanda. Yeah. I try to call her name, but I forget all the time that to make sure to introduce. But she answers the Devin equally, so she doesn't take offense to it. There we go. I apologize for that as well, Yolanda. Okay, so if I go back to my screen and I go, so you can see here I am switching between these two functions. So I'm on the eraser setting, and I'm taking out. Now you can go back in your layers and take out the mistaken layer that you drew on with the brush. Oh yeah, please don't feel silly. It's hard to, when you put your name up on a website or on a social page of any means, you never know who you're going to get, right? So I never blame anybody that doesn't use their given name. But Yolanda Devin is pretty awesome. So she answers the both, so don't feel silly. Now, if you call me Petunia, why would you call me Petunia? I don't have Petunia written anywhere. Okay, so so here's the thing. So I can control the width of my brush. I can use different brushes. Now, again, unfortunately, it doesn't let you show, or it doesn't show you the open window where I scroll down amongst these different brush settings that I have to pick a different brush. But, the thing about, drawing in the Magic Robot is that it lets me it lets me go back and forth. See, I just jumped to the paintbrush, or I'm sorry, to the paint bucket and filled in that little area, right? So, and then I jump back over to the brush setting. And so the paintbrush is going to fill in, the paint bucket, I'm so sorry, is going to fill in volumes. So this area here, if I switch over and drop into that, then you can see it filling in this side of the eye ridge, and I'm back over to the brush again. Now, if I'm unhappy with this line in the center, I can just jump over to the eraser. So that's what I'm talking about, how fast it lets you work now, because all of the things that you normally have to touch around are there on this device. Okay, and for those that came in late, it's Vadir. There's how it's spelled. Screen, save it if you have to. And the unit is called the 9-key Smart Keypad. Okay, so there's 6 layers of 9-button programmable things. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yolanda, for typing that out. I appreciate that. So 6 layers of 9 buttons. It's, you know, oh, you're Grace. Okay, so this is the speed that it expedites my line with, or my ability to draw. And something as simple as reducing my lines down or switching to a different tool that has the ability to work with smaller settings. Like this is a pencil tool as opposed to the inking brush that I was using. And so with the pencil tool, and this is set at 100, but it really does look like a pencil. And so as I'm drawing whatever I'm drawing in with it, you know, and we're going to do a skull here. We're going to take some license and just trying to think of what my skull looks like inside my meat suit. So you can just, and if I don't like a line, like I said, I can come in with this eraser setting immediately and take out those lines, jumping back right over to my pencil, and I don't have to go anywhere. I'm a Luddite. And what I mean by a Luddite is 6 times math is 54. So sorry. 6 times 9 is 54. I had asked Lori last night, what is 6 times 9, hon? And she goes, it's 54. Because Lori just knows I'm a goofball. So, you know, I can press these different buttons with my one hand, and it starts to become intuitive really quickly. But it saves you all of that, because now it starts to feel more organic, like you're drawing traditionally, right? But I'm a Luddite. I'm late to adapt to any technologies. I've generally been reticent of adapting to anything. I had Photoshop on a key for about 5 years before I did anything with it. And I had a Wacom thing and a monitor that I could draw on the monitor thing for 2 years before I touched that. Because I'm like, oh, I don't know, right? So this was a huge leap for me. But because it's so intuitive, and once you crack the code of doing shortcuts with hotkey settings that you find in whatever programs you're looking to incorporate into it, it becomes really quick. If you have, there you go, Chris. Nanu. Oh, it's Nanu. Punfar, there we are, Dan. So what was I saying? Well, it becomes so intuitive as you're working on it that it just really ingratiates itself to be incorporated into your processes. I really wish I'd done one of these earlier. Now, I looked up online, and the first ones I'm finding are like $70, $80. I'm like, nope, I'm out. And the ones that I've seen with the fancy colored buttons and all of that at the technology stores, Best Buy or whatever, technology stores. That's how it works in my brain. They're like $100. Well, you don't need those fancy bright light button ones. You can just get one of these suckers. So I got it yesterday in the mail, literally before the stream. And I didn't get a chance to sit down with it until 10 o'clock last night, after we'd done some Christmas shopping and then figuring out in our budgetary planning about who we spend how much for what. So I sat down with this for 2 hours last night and started drawing with it this morning, and I'm in love with it. So, I'm in love with something other than my wife. So, I'm just sort of trying to suggest of how much it allows us to try different things, and it's just changing to it. Well, Yolanda says you've already learned so much to do with it. Cool. Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's that easy. I'm not easy with technology. It's that easy. I've got it on my OBS, so I can change all the cameras with my StreamYard. Turn camera off, turn on this button, turn camera off with that button. Turn this camera on with this button, turn this one off with that button. Put up the screen with this one, right? I can turn on my programs, so I don't even have to click on my browser or to click on YouTube. I literally just press the button and it makes YouTube come up on the screen. So it's crazy. Does it plug into the USB? Yeah, it has a USB cord, okay? But it also has an adapter that goes onto the end of that if you have to plug it into USB-C. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. Look at, he's trying it. I've got a sign up in my studio. It's a light up sign where you plug the letters into it, and then when you light it up, it's too bright for anybody to read anyways. And it says, "We're gonna make a hot cereal lover out of you, out of me." Mm-hmm. That's what it literally says on that sign. Many of them are professional illustrators here in Mexico, work for Marvel and DC. Yes, yeah, there's tons of professional illustrators. That's for darn sure. There's USB-C, Dan, is for iPads. No, iPad has you can put a USB-C thing in an iPad. My headphones is a USB-C. This is, I don't know if it's going to show up. See this skinny little silvery thing? That's a USB-C. And this is a USB. So I'll show you the size difference. USB, USB-C. And so there's a little adapter for the USB. Actually, I did that wrong. This is you get the idea. This is actually a USB-C, and this is a micro. But it's basically scale-wise, it's the same by comparison. And there's an adapter for the end of this one that goes into the other. So there's probably an adapter from USB-C to Lightning. Well, probably not, because Apple is so ridiculous. Lori has the Lightning things, and I just look at it and shake my head, because if you have to differentiate yourself from the entire market just to monopolize and control your material, Apple's a jerk. Anyways, is that Canadian? Anyway, I love it. You're probably saying that as a joke. You probably said it as a joke, and I completely missed that. I just say the shape of the thingy. See, that works for me too. You plug it into I call everything doodads. I'm a doodad guy. I'm a doodad man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a doodad man. So, really? I've got a suggestion here for fast and easy. Yeah, well, that's an easy suggestion. I was laughing at the sign you described. Okay. Yeah, who puts that up on their? Do you want to see it? I'll show you. It's so plainly obvious that I've got it. Silly. Oh no, it's pinned in. I'll unpin it. Who cares? This is it. Kids give me that. Thanks, kids. That's what I did with it. I've actually had, how many licks does it get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? I had that up there on it as well for a while, but then I thought that might be a little too suggestive. Yeah, I don't want to seem like I was bragging about what I had on my sign, but no, it's more like I am that ridiculous. Look at that hat, for heaven's sakes. I thought I got a laugh from being a moron. No, I'm a moron. I'm always denigrating myself and calling myself terrible things, but all of those commercials from the 70s and 80s are just fantastic. Okay, so now I've got the move tool, so I can put this picture wherever I want. And if I go like this, and I can copy this now and change what I've got on here. Like, it's literally a case of whoops, I went to the wrong screen. I'm still learning. So if I copy this, first I gotta, so now if I go over to the copy tool and then the paste tool, I have another layer of it with just a simple couple of buttons. So it's kind of awesome, folks. That's it. It's that tiny, and it's mechanical buttons, so it does. You can hear the clicking. So I'm going to go back to this the screen. Now I've got two different duplicated drawings that I can do whatever I want with. I can transform this one. I can spin it and rotate it, and let's flip it upside down, or I can just right. So you know what? I'm going to do fast and easy. Fast and easy is a good one. This is easy. So fast and easy is a good suggestion for today. So I'll just write it down now. And what am I on? Oh, I'm on the arrow. Oh, see, I went to reach across, and now I don't have to. I name my layers when I get a little farther along, but when I start, I literally just leave them as numbers. So fast and easy, and that is from John A. Okay, so this is our suggestion for today, and it fits in so perfectly for me trying to explain my new doodly-doo. Hi, Aditi. I'm sorry I missed you coming in. 364 clicks, according to Google. What is 364 clicks? I don't know what that means. Good, but good morning. The wise old owl. Yeah, that's the, how many licks does it get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, old wise owl? And he goes, let's find out. And he goes, a 1, a 2. He just eats it on the kid. So this is the thing that I've been talking about. It has 6 layers of programming, 9 buttons each, 54 buttons. We've done the math together. I name the layers on the device, if that's what you mean. Do I name the layers on the screen as I'm drawing? When I get farther along, I have the plain base, the white base that I start the drawing with. And then the first base, or the first layer, I will rename that art, but only after I've compressed all the drawing part, because I might draw in multiple layers, but then I'll merge all those together into one layer without the white, and I'll call that art. And then all the text, no matter how many text balloons that I put on, eventually I will merge those without the art, without the base, and I'll call those text. And I generally leave my name aside from all the text so it doesn't get in the way. But when it comes to this thing, I name on my gizmo doohickey thingamabob, the doodad. Don't forget doodad. I named the doodad layers. I've got main, I've got OBS, I've got Photoshop 1, I've got Photoshop 2, and what was the other one? I've got 5 layers. What's the other one? I have to look it up now. Oh, websites. Websites is the other one. So, Tootsie Roll, the Tootsie Roll Pop, yeah. Oh, 364 licks to get to the center. Teeny, have you counted? Oh, I named them from the very beginning. I'm working with the photo retouching. Well, Dee counted. You know she did. Wonderful. Whatever works for you. That's the whole point. Process is what process is. It's a fun thing, and how we all work and how we all do our projects in different ways. It's kind of interesting that. So I put a stroke up, and now I'm going to go back to the rectangular marquee, and I'm going to put that stroke up, and then all I have to do is the same thing over and over again and just drag that sucker around and put the different, so I can do all these multiple buttons at once. Now, if I'm smart, I'm going to figure out that if I put merge on here, then I can just do the top row of 3 and then all of the, but you see how fast it is? I'm not reaching anywhere or doing anything. I'm just sitting here with my shoulder. Oh, Google told you that. Whoops, cancel that. So I've got all of this on a single layer. So if I come here and I put my transform thing on it, this is where I can drag it to whatever size I need. And then I press enter and it's there. So now I've got my little replica of the doodad. The veneer. So I can utilize this in whatever way I want. Now if I go into here and I roll, cats are running around. I can copy this and paste another version of it. And that's how fast that I just transferred between the 2 screens and got back to my functions so that I can do whatever I want with this new layer that I've made. And I can duplicate this as much as I want and shift it around and manipulate it like that. So the way that it's expediting how I draw is a little bit bonkers. I don't know why, but I'm listening to the Backstreet Boys. It just came on my... Yep. So, yeah. Boy. That was in my playlist. It's not on my phone. It's because it's open to the internet. And so Spotify said, hey, maybe he'll like the Backstreet Boys. He doesn't. Merging layers is brave. I keep 2 files. The work in progress, when I'm done, rename it to final art. I use a free app called GIMP. It's the same thing as Photoshop. It's exactly the same without the packaging. Extrude's back. All right. All bad. No. My oldest, who's just turned 32 last week, when she was a teenager and she'd be listening to Backstreet and the Boys, New Kids on the Block, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and she'd crank it in her bedroom. And so I learned the lyrics to all of her favorite songs because I'm a horrible nightmare of a dad. And I would stand outside of her room, her door, and rather than knocking on the door again and saying, "Granny, turn it down," again, I would sing along. And that was enough for her to turn it off. You know, every day I feel wonderful. Anyways, you don't want to hear me singing a silly voice version of Christina Aguilera. Did you hear the suggestion on my stream? It was, my chauffeur is a bear. Oh, I'll write it down. I missed that, Miriam. I was doing so many things and I kept trying to come back and sit still, but I had been having too much joy with my toy this morning, meaning the device. Slow down. And I wrote it down. It's going in the book. I can so see you doing that. Oh yeah, outside of her door, I'd sing along with everything. It's terrible. It's a nightmare. And I would purposely do it in like the most ridiculous. I'd sing everything in deep, or I'd just louder than her radio is. My one neighbor said, I can hear you singing along with Backstreet Boys, bud. And I said, yeah, my daughter is the one that's cranking it. And he goes, got it. Yeah, nice. The volume goes down immediately. It's great, man. Keep doing that. It's the beer drinking guy upstairs. I couldn't get in your stream. My app kept crashing. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Yolanda. Okay, so I put that in the book, Miriam. Thank you for the suggestion. Anybody else that has a one-page story suggestion, please feel to put it in the chat here, or in the comments for the video, or on any of the Instagram or Facebook posts that I do, and it'll go in a book. This is page number 342 that I'm doodling with today here. So anyways, I've shown you some of these things that I've been playing with. Okay, so we're going to start with this guy and duplicate this a couple of times, and use this as a base for our image, and we're just going to draw the story right over top of it. How about Fast and Easy is the page today, and let's do Elvis. I don't know why. I can't think of reasons why I do things. Yolanda singing. Oh my goodness. Get out of town. I am so easily impressed. So I've already merged the three squares as a layer. So now that if I want to just duplicate this on the page, and now I've got it doubled up. So there's, quick, fast, dirty way in order to make some wonderfully complex little bits of business on our screen. And now I've connected those as one layer. So that's done. So now I can move it all around as one. Looks like a bunch of chocolate bars. Now I have Backstreet, my brain pan. I also do Destiny's Child. Lori put Destiny's Child on in the car one time, and she's like, you know the words to this? I'm like, yes, I do. Have you ever given your artwork as a gift to someone? I mean, besides as a gift to the world? Yep, I have. Quite a number of times. There's a painting of mine hanging in my physician's office. And that question is for everyone in the chat. Hey, it's a question of the day from Jim Luan. Look out, folks. Question of the day for everybody is, Jim used to do these on the regular. Have you ever given your artwork as a gift to someone? That's a fun question. And especially at Christmas time here, there's definitely something that some people feel really reticent about doing. And I encourage you to share yourself with people. I encourage you to share your expression, but at the same time, within measure. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to do that, hopefully it's in a context that they're going to appreciate what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to get on to drawing while I'm chatting here. So, I'm deleting all the hidden layers. Look at that. So now we're just down to this. So I've got this layer that I can turn on and off. I got the white one, the base that I can turn on and off. And the one that's clicking on and off now, you see the little eyeball on the right side? This is the penciling layer that I'm doing, and I've already switched to the brush. See, brush, eraser, brush, eraser. Here we go. So I've got a new layer on top of this one, and I'm just going to start drawing Elvis. Because, sometimes that's what you got to do, baby. Anyways, I'm going to make sure it's on black. It is. And I'm going to make sure that there's no marching ants anywhere. Here we go. I reached over. See, I got to stop doing that. Didi says, I think every artist has. Yolanda says, I give mine away or I pay them to take them. Okay, so I'm on a pencil setting, so I'm going to switch to something a little darker so that people can see what I'm using here. It's not dark enough. Let's find a tool that works for us in the way that we need it to. This one's okay. It comes together pretty quick. So you can see I don't like this line. I don't like how that bevels out, so I switched those already back to the pen. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about how fast it lets me switch now. So I'm drawing over the silliness that is the base. It's the 9-panel button, like on the box, and that I'm using in my hands here. It's inspired me to include itself in the drawing. I'm not using white yet to fill in the skin here quite yet, because I will get to that. I'm just focusing on the drawing part right now, so that when I'm coloring on a layer below this, and it lets me, I can see through that black art line, and when I'm coloring the next layer down below that, there's no disruptions from having applied white, so that I can see it as I'm drawing over this textured surface. Drawing over this textured surface or any other one is, I mean, if I were to put another layer below here and pick an arbitrary color, so now that when I go ahead and I fill this in, okay, I'm going to drop that below our texture. So now I've got this color layer underneath. So when I jump back up to our penciling layer, hold on a second, let me get this off first. So now I'm back on our penciling layer, and as I'm drawing, switch back to the black. So as I'm drawing on this here, you can see the color layer and the texture layer underneath are all separate. Now, if the texture layer is interrupting me, I'm going to remove it. So, everybody's jumping in on the question, and which is awesome. Yolanda's winning for the best answer. I give mine away or pay them to take it. Every artist has at some point. That's absolutely true. And if you haven't yet, take comfort in that every other artist has done so. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not delegitimizing yourself as an artist if you've given pieces to people. If anything, they appreciate it, especially if it's people in your world around you that have been supportive towards your career and your process. I'm finishing our Christmas card. I'm giving out a digital Christmas card this year, and anybody that wants one, send me a DM in Instagram or something, and or maybe I'll make or do it in the community. Go in the community on YouTube. I'll later on today, I'll put a thing up and say, who wants a digital Christmas card? And then put a comment in there and send me your YouTube contact or your Pint or whatever other contact it is, and I'll send you a digital Christmas card on that. But I'll set that up in the community after the stream today, okay? Because that's giving out my art. That's saying, hey, here's our silly Christmas card that I've done for everybody to see. It's Lori and I and the cats, by the way. Many, many times. I gave portraits to all the guys on Gold Rush some seasons ago, about 25 seasons ago, or about 25 pieces. I think it was 25 pieces. I think I've seen you show those. They're wonderful portraits, Dee. My family and my friends and family are tired of getting my art by now. I think you'd be surprised by that. I think that you would be surprised to find out that there are people in your world that really enjoy your art. I have a friend, Derek Latimer, who I'm going to be talking with in a few hours tonight. He helps people prepare their thesis for university. He's one of my very brainy friends, and wonderful person, wonderful soul, Derek, absolutely wonderful gentleman. And he does a Christmas card. He paints a Christmas card that he gives out every year. And each year he gives me the original. He's done it for the last 3 years, and I treasure them so much. We published 2 of Derek's books. I showed them here. I'll show them again on the stream. This is, he goes under the name of Theo. This is Blivet. Blivet is a 5-pound poop in a 1-pound bag. It's a Kurt Vonnegut term. But this is his anthology. It's 52 pages. And this is his full story of Rabid, which is a love story set during a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And it's also 52 pages about a guy living in a bunker. And I love his work. And I've been a big fan. He's been coming to the jam since 2015. But he gives me that every year. And I treasure those things. I've got them saved and put in a nice sleeve. And, you know, they're wonderful. I'm collecting them. And if he stops giving me the originals and gives me cards, I'm going to collect those. I'm collecting them because I think they should be a little digital book. And, you know, we'll get there. Okay, back to the page. I'm jibber-jabbering and not focusing. Oh, okay. Just so, because I don't care. If it's a problem for anybody in the stream that I've got the layer underneath up, let me know, and I'll remove it for you. But got to get the hair in. But for me, it doesn't matter. I know what I'm working on, and so I negate that. And we're going to erase out some of that hair, and back to the pen. As easy as that. And I can tell you, it just blows my mind that the process just became that easy. Oh, Dee Dee, we just got your card in the mail. Your card from you, Dee Dee, and thank you very much for that. Lori's going to open it. Yeah, it just came in just before I did the stream, but I didn't want to just open it in a haste and rush away. So, but wonderful. Thank you for the card. I think it's a card that's in there. We also have on our fridge a cat drawing of Corbin by Dee Dee. Yolanda says, I'd love to run some in digital Christmas cards. Send you my email and Instagram. Thanks, Christopher. Well, let me put the community thing up on YouTube, and I'll get everybody to do it there so I have it in one spot. Yolanda, I appreciate that, though. Anybody else that wants one, as soon as I put that community thing up, just go in the community on my YouTube page and add your comment to the thing. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can DM me. I'll let you do that. But most people are pretty open with their pages and stuff. And if it's your Instagram you put on there or whatever else it is, that's fine too. Chris is gifted art, but now focusing on selling stuff. Good for you, because you have wonderful work. Dee Dee is very generous with art. She surprised me and sent me a portrait of my Lucy. What a gift. That's wonderful. I've received zines and gave to, oh yeah, the zine swap this year, if you had an opportunity to be in that Janet M. Young organized, I've got 36 zines here that I love. They're wonderful. They're wonderful. I've got 9 pocket pages that I've put them in that my grandson said, I don't do that with my Pokemon anymore. And I'm like, bonus. Grandpa's got 9 pocket pages now. So wonderful. I received stickers from Dee Dee. Yeah, so have I. I've got I've moved that unit here. I've got on this unit here, I've got a bunch of those stickers on my one place in the studio that I put all my stickers. I should be getting papers soon. Oh, thank you, Dee Dee. I will be selling paintings on Serenity Auction starting February. Good for you. That's great, Miriam. Katura says, I love making zines. Well, there was a zine swap organized by Janet this year. I'll tell you what, Katura, if you send me a zine, I will send you a zine. There's a zine group here in London that's selling my zines now. The ones that you've seen me do on as one-page stories, and I'm doing more of those as we speak. So, a lot of fun. Okay, back to the picture. Trying to keep up with chat. I apologize if I miss anybody. We got the bouffant going on for the hair. Am I on? Nope, I'm on the eraser. See that? As easy as that, the switch back. Take out that mark I didn't mean to make. So I'm drawing in Mr. Presley's face. There's a pretty lady home upstairs. Love it. Good day. Okay, so I'm drawing. I've got a little thumbnail off to my side of the Mr. Presley. And so I'm using that as my source of inspirato to draw this cat in. So the suggestion for today is fast. Oh, I took that off, didn't I? Here, I'll put it up here. Fast and easy. Easy like Sunday morning. And that came from John A. So that's today's suggestion that I'm working from, which is on a separate layer than everything else. Okay. So back to this layer where I'm drawing Mr. Parceleon. Thank you very much. So I'm going to draw him dancing and singing here. And I can change the scale of the drawing, but for right now, I'm trying to just get it down quickly. And the thing about Photoshop or whatever other drawing program that you use, Procreate or I think it was Yolanda that said another one earlier. Let me just scroll up here, see what it was, because it's a good program. And if you don't want to spend money on Photoshop, which I don't recommend you do, I'm using an owned copy of 2005. So GIMP is what Chris uses. And GIMP works great, and it's free. Do not give Photoshop $85 a month unless you know you're using it. Oh, hey, excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. My contact stuff is in my socials on Instagram or whatever, or no, on my website. You can find it on my website, and all that's linked to all the different YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, so you can find my address there on my website. Miriam says, I received Dee Dee, Janet, and also Christopher's zines. Oh, super cool. I'll show those tomorrow. How's that? Anybody comes back to the thing tomorrow, I will do a nice walkthrough of all the zines that I received. I did that before. I'm proud of them. I love the zines I got in the zine swap. So I will show you tomorrow. I'll take them all out of the 9 sleeves so we can open them up and look at them quickly. And we can look at different ways of telling story. Hiya, Maxie. How you doing, buddy? Maxie's super cool. Okay, back to the picture. I'm on, my phone is telling me to take more sugar in because I'm running low. I'm working on it. I'm taking sugar. I drink a Diet Coke. It's a sugar-free Coke. That doesn't work. Well, that's okay. I got a candy in my yapper, and I'll catch up in a second. Okay, back to the layer, the drawing layer, and I'm on the drawing tool. So I'm just putting Presley in quick. Now, there's nothing wrong for folks to do this, okay? I know that somebody asked me this in a DM earlier and said, how come you don't break down the form and the object, or the objects or whatever you're drawing? Why don't you break them down geometrically when you're working? And I tried to explain that I see them in my head, and so I'll move that for you. And so I don't feel the need where I am in my drawing journey to do that, but I'm going to do it for you because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if that helps folks in putting down whatever images that they're doing, then do this. If you don't feel that you need to do that, don't. It means nothing to what's the cool and what's not the cool. Just do it and enjoy it on whatever level. Trying to keep up here. Miriam will be selling her stuff on Serenity Auction starting February. Make sure come January, late January, you start putting that up for everybody to start looking at and seeing where that is, Miriam. Don't forget that. Katrina loves making scenes. I'd love to see them. I would really love to see them. Katrina says, congrats. Dee Dee painted my grandfather, Raphael, and I treasure that. I've seen Jim show that off on his stream. Hey, man, how's your movie going? Which is Jim's video blog about the making of his new animated feature. Yolanda says, very happy to get your beaver zine in the swamp, Christopher. Oh, that's very nice of you, Yolanda. Big smiles from Deed. That's very nice. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's Janet's story about a beaver eating her pear tree. And because I got beaver as one of the suggestions from Dee Dee from the pull bag of prompts, I had to do Janet's beaver story. That's too fun because I'm giving it to Janet because Janet's running the swap, right? Too easy. That was just too easy for fun. So received Dee Dee, Janet's, Christopher zines. Oh, super fun. I think I got everybody's because I did 4 and submitted those. So I got back 30 some odd, and it wasn't 36 or 30 or whatever it is. Janet keeps one of each. I don't think it was 36. It was like 34. So I think I got each one, and I love them all. So I'll walk everybody through them. So yours are all in there as far as I know. And I'm very appreciative that Janet did that. So Max says, hi, Maxie. I'm back. Do that 15 days before February starts. Thank God I have some canvases ready to paint. We'll get to them. Yeah, math is hard. Numbers no makey, worky, thinky. All right. So I'm doing this sub layer here just to break down the form for folks. And so when you're doing this, and where am I? I'm on this layer. So I'm going to merge these two layers with the head, and I'll just refine it in a moment. But if you need to break down the form and to find, I'm going to break this down in shapes for folks, even though it's going to get in the way in a second because I just thought I'd merge them. Anyways, if you need to look at this as a ball and this is a ball and this is a square and this is a circle, whatever you need to do in order to facilitate for you, your drawings, right? Do so. I'm just going to merge these. And the reason that I'm going to merge these is so that I can now go into that rectangular marquee tool, and then I'm going to transform this. And I have to figure out the shift button on this thing. I'm realizing as I'm refining this, because I've only had this since last night, about how I can refine the process for myself here. And that's where that is now. So I'll pull that back. So I've reduced the size of the Elvis drawing back on my pencil. And you can hear the clicking, I think, of how easy it is to switch between everything because of this sucker. Just investigate these. If you utilize a lot of buttons and a lot of moving around with your arm as you're drawing and wherever you're working in your process, and if you're doing that a lot digitally, investigate in that. Yolanda's getting a haircut. Lori told me this morning I'm getting a haircut. As I don't care less, but I'm starting to get Doc Brown hair. Thanks for the fun, Christopher. Bye, everyone. See you later, Yolanda. Yolanda, please, when are you going to be on next so people can come and see your fun? I know that Dee Dee is going to be on Monday at 8:30 a.m. on her stream. Miriam and Chris usually do something on Sunday mornings. But anybody that is always welcome to put when they're working on stuff next. So feel free to do that. And that goes for you, Couture and Jim and everybody else. Next time you're going to be doing stuff, let people know. I got no problem with that. There's no, this is all about me space. This is all about me right now. Everybody look at me and don't talk about yourselves. I'm the opposite. I want to hear what you're doing. I want to see what you're doing. I do my best to try to thumbs up on social media, but honestly, I'm more engaged in trying to watch your process and celebrate you as best I can. But I've got so many things going through the feed now on social media. I don't get the chance to go out and thumbs up everything, and I apologize for that. So, okay, so I've gone back to cutting out the shapes and just drawing the lines again. I apologize for that. But the intention of, see, I did it again. I get used to the buttons. I've gone back to cutting out these geometric shapes because I don't draw them because in my head I see them. I don't know if that makes sense or if that's Christopher saying he's crackers, but I know where they are. I understand how fabric folds around the form. And it has a lot to do with I'm doing a lot of drawing. But there are a great deal of professional illustrators who have wonderful perspective. And because they draw the geometric forms under whatever it is that they're drawing. Okay, so if anybody ever tells you that and tries to delegitimize your working process, one, I have a litany of words that you can share with them. But two, they're not your problem. You're not here to make them happy. You're here to to develop your own craft and to draw without their nonsense. I'm changing the size around the body here because I want to give this cool kid, and again, I have to reach for the shift button. It's the only button I have to reach for. I just wanted to shake this up so we can get a little bit more of his back in here. Why? So we can get a little bit more of his hips in here. You know what I'm talking about? Hey now, slow down there, fella. What are you doing? Okay, so pulling out these lines, I'm going to make my eraser just a little bit bigger so that I don't have to do so much swiping at it with the eraser. Mind you, it's going to make me have to work in tighter, more refined ways, but that's okay. So I'm cutting in these lines a little bit, switching back and reshaping them the way that I want them. And doing so and taking out the extraneous lines. I'm not too worried about it being all lovely, posh, and clean right now because I'm just trying to get down the image. But this is where the switching thing comes in so nicely. It's because it lets me work as quick as I tend to draw. So that's why the time-lapse videos, by the way, when are really short. Somebody complained to me about your time-lapse video is too short. I don't know. Is because I tend to be a fast drawer. So, sorry. So I'm not too overly precious about my line making. I'm just getting down the image that I want to get down. All right, word up. We got a big conversation going. I'm missing it. I apologize for that. For those that are not seeing the chat, I think you are. Here we go. Devin says, I'm trying to go live Wednesdays at 2:30. Yeah, you going live in the new year. Miriam does her Mondays and Janet is on Mondays. So I'm going to change my time on Monday to go in between them. So it'll be a new time on Monday from the rest of the week. Tuesday, I'll be back at 2, or I might just uniform my time throughout it. But Wednesday, I'm doing the same thing. I'm switching to be before Devin or Yolanda so that she has her space and time. And Thursday, Friday. So I'm still going to do Monday through Friday, but I'm going to switch either all the times to 12, 12:30, or I'm going to switch all, certain days. So just so I can accommodate Janet and Dee Dee and Yolanda. So, and I'm trying to see who else I want to work around as well. And it's not that any one person is more legitimate than others. It's about I want to go and see people's things, what they're doing. So Dee Dee is Monday and Wednesday at 8:30 for the last 13 years, and she generally lasts till 11:30, 12, folks. So I'm going to be starting at 12 o'clock on Monday. Starting January, the second week of January, the 1st of January, I'm still doing that too. Or I might do it at 12. We'll see. Kachira says, I don't have enough subs yet to do a live, but willing in the future. Kachira, I started this year at 26 people and just started doing lives and talking to myself for a while and having crazy fun. And I haven't changed how I do anything. I still do things the same way. I talked to the thing. I was actually talking to Corbin, but my cat, so who's staring at me from that chair over there. I missed your last stream. I was so tired. Sorry, Yolanda. I catch a lot of things after they're posted. Missed yours too, Dee Dee. AMs for Dee Dee. 8:30 a.m. EST. That's why we record, Miriam. Can't make every stream. That's true. That's why we try to check them out when we can check them out. I know, Dee Dee. I saw the rerun several times on my screen today. I cracked the reruns on the week. There you go. I'm normally watching from the balcony these days. That means lurking or listening gently or whatever other terms people use. Not chatting much. Trying to advance my projects. 1 month of vacation to go. Yeah, get working. Good for you. Have some fun. just sub to you, Katura. I'll sub us after the stream's over. You don't have to do that for me, Christopher. Yes, I do. I want to watch your streams. I want to tell you bad jokes. I want to sing Backstreet lyrics to you so it sidetracks you. No, I don't. I should remember your times of Ustreams, Didi. Wow, that's right. Didi's been doing this for a long time. YouTube's offering me videos from that time. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Okay. Talking to myself is brave. Nope, I'll be there. I'll do my best to come and pop in and tell you bad jokes. Why do bunnies have fluffy tails? It's an important question. It's an important question, Katura. Why do bunnies have fluffy tails? So they don't smack their bum on the ground when they hop around. You're welcome. Try the meal. We'll be here until 10 o'clock, folks. Okay, so young Elvis, still skinny, doesn't have the huge lapels. See, I went to reach. Stop myself. It's tricky. It's a thing of process. You got to get yourself acclimatized to the structural change. It's no different than when you're working in a studio and you put your paint water on that side, but you put it over on this side because that side's the same as your coffee cup, and you've drank paint water too many times this week. But now you got to get used to not sticking your brush in your coffee cup. Not that I have ever done that. So I know that I've done digital for 2 days in a row this week, but it's largely because I'm just trying to encourage everybody about the facilitation that this new tool is giving me now. Oh my heavens, I got to change this playlist. It's got I Think We're Alone Now has come on. And I don't want to say the lyrics out loud because Yolanda will be singing it all afternoon. So I'm cleaning up these lines a little bit as I go. Not overly concerned about it because I'm going to make this a really gestural piece with lots of little hash marks and fun little movement lines just to keep it interesting for the reader's eyes. What was I talking? Oh yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I got a DM from somebody who said your time-lapse drawing is too fast. You got to slow it down. And I said, well, I'm just drawing at the speed I draw it, and it takes a frame for 7, 1 frame every 7 as opposed to normal time. And that's just how fast I draw. And when I'm sitting here by myself in the studio at night, and Lori's gone to bed, she goes to bed a little bit earlier than I do because I've only ever slept 4 or 6 hours my whole life, so a night. So I'm a bit of a pain in the butt. So she goes to bed earlier than me, so I don't keep her. I'm just going to read a little, hun, and I'll be reading for 4 hours. So I'm going to jump a layer for this, the mic cord. And the reason for that is that, I want to play with the shape of it a little bit. You see how fast I'm switching between the pencil or the brush and I'm using it like a pencil, and the eraser. It's so fun. Like, honestly, I've had some challenge with drawing digitally, and that I find that I found the process to be a little laborious. That's why I switched to another layer for the mic cord so that I could go over and just pull it back a little bit when I felt the need to, like I've just done, without having to erase half the picture. Okay, so we've got, I don't know the picture I picked of this kid. It's so tiny. Yeah, well. So the first time I read an article on regeneration, this is completely arbitrary and random, but first time I read an article on regeneration, as I was processing this, and I'm sitting in the back of the car as I'm being, driven somewhere with my mom in the front seat, I can't remember where, but I'm still, I think I'm my early teens. Who reads about regeneration in early teens? Nerds. So anyways, as I'm processing this, there's somebody playing Elvis on the radio, and they're talking about how Elvis died in 76. And I had this flight of fancy, this story idea come to mind about what if I'm the regeneration of Elvis? Completely ridiculous. I'm just a kid at this point, but I'm trying to cognitively process one principal idea while having this association of information come in the other ear of Elvis's death. And so I just went, yeah, what if I was Elvis regenerated? Because the whole process was talking about, of the interview was talking about how Elvis might still be alive, is the rumor at the time. And so I said, well, what if I'm Elvis and trying to incorporate regeneration? And it wasn't until later that night, as I read this book, that there's any way I could be Elvis, because I was born before Elvis died. So see, that's how we process ideas, right? We're weird kids that think we're Elvis for a moment. And this, Katura, is talking to yourself and not worrying about how many people are in your stream. I'm sorry. Tangent. Didi's on her way. Thanks very much for hanging out, Didi. It's good to see you. Oh, look at that. Chris has already subbed you. See, now you got all these people joining in, Katura. You're going to have to stream. Katura is saying, I'll have to figure out the technology for that. Thanks for the encouragement. It's pretty straightforward. If anybody ever has any questions about this thing or anything else regarding their streaming, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help out. My blood sugar's kind of in the safe zone, so we're all good. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I'll be looking up your channel after. Yolanda, your hairstylist awaits. Bye. Might sound crazy. Ain't no lie. I don't, have to do that. Oh, I'm gonna sing Backstreet Boys and all kinds of things. I'll find you inside. Look at this. See what you did to yourself, Katura? Everybody's gonna sub to you now. Okay, so we've got whatever is going on in my. Hide your current comment. Okay, Didi's on her way. Making a list, checking it twice. You're going to find out which one of us are streaming with you. Oh, Yolanda's in her car now. I will ask questions for sure. You're more than welcome to. I'm having fun hanging out with you guys and collabing in live streams. I'm really appreciative of that. If anybody is that might have missed it, which people miss it, please check out Tuesday. Chris joined me here in the stream on Tuesday, and we had a great time working on 3-Prompt Tuesday, taking a bunch of suggestions from people here in the stream, and then we both produced a one-page story from the suggestions that we were given, and Miriam did it as well and posted it up on her Instagram. So check Miriam's out as well, folks. See, I went to reach and I stopped myself. Now, this is the polygonal tool, and what it is, or the polygonal lasso, and what it is that it's this sucker that lets you do these little marching ants and drag it around over the environment in your composition so that you can have this shape, this space, and expedite your coloring by just filling in this whole space all at once. And when you hold the shift key, it lets you can see on here as I'm doing a bunch of little loops in order to make sure I get in all the bits as I go. So now when I switch over, and I'm on a layer below the drawing, by the way, and then you see how I can fill that whole thing in as a silhouette, or I can switch sensibly to white and fill it in this way. So now we can see the drawing, right? So that if we go back into take off our marching ants by going back into the poly lasso layer or the rectangular layer. See, when you do this and you're in that layer, if you just touch the screen, it just makes it disappear. Tuesday, December 12th is when Chris was with me here in the stream, and it was a great time. I really had a lot of fun, and I think that I really enjoy what she did and what Miriam did, and well, I had fun on the page that I worked on. Okay, so I've got the color layer to fill in for Tortelvis here on a different layer, so that I can clean it up and do with it as I will. But it's independent from these different layers that are underneath it. So we can add all of that back in. And then we can do whatever we want with Elvis. Like if I was to take another layer underneath and go into my brush tool and pull up some of these highlights, now I can put these different, effects behind Elvis with these bright lights, and have all of this sitting in front of this layer, sitting in front of that background layer. I can switch to another color. I can put another layer behind the ones that you've seen. I'm going to go to a different setting, and so now I've got another value kicking in behind. Hey, let's do it again. Let's do it over here. And I've got a bunch of these little spot images on as brushes. So now we've got that yellow one there. Let's do one more. Let's do a red, and we'll switch this one. There we go. So now we've got all these colors around him. And the fun thing about this is that as I'm taking him out, these are all just on a couple of layers, all these different lights. So, I mean, so much fun. I've been told split screen is on the pay version. As soon as I have it, we'll stream together again, Chris. Is it? I thought you could do a split screen with people on the regular, but you can do more people when you pay the basic, and you can do a ton of people when you pay for the premium. I also need to invite you to my stream. Yeah, for sure. Gotta get Miriam on here too. And yeah, Chris, you want to do something on your stream? We can do that too. That's fun. Where am I? Cleveland, Ohio. No, I'm not. In Canada. Stop that, crazy voices. Okay, so I've got this color in the back. If I want to, I can change this again, switch that to a different value, playing with him as a stage performance. I can even do adding in another layer in between the lights and Elvis here. And I'll go and I'll put a fun devalued polka dot. Here's a good one. Is that going to appear? Maybe I still got my marching ants somewhere. Oh, it's the same color. I'm a maniac. I'm so sorry. Use this one. So I can use this like a drawing tool and fill in this area here. Now, if I go back to my brush and put in another texture behind here, and then switch what I've got on the screen. Let's do this one. So you can see how all of these random little things change around as you go and as you're playing with this, so that it lets you try so many different things. Play with them, stretch them, move them around, do different things with it. But it fits our theme for today of fast and easy, right? What else can we do for fast and easy? Well, why don't I do the crazy thing and compress our entire background here into one layer, just so I can move it out of the way. So now we've got our Elvis in front of our setup here. Let's go back to our pencil layer and do a distinctly separate drawing layer so that whatever I'm drawing now is going to be unencumbered by any other marks that I made before. So I've got my pencil layer set up. I'm going to reduce the size of it nice and small and start drawing some more. Oh yeah, Chris. Not in Streamlabs. StreamYard. StreamYard is good. StreamYard is what I use. If you're able to get StreamYard, Miriam, even their free one lets you do it with a couple people. Christopher also has an invitation. What if we do stream together? Yeah, that'd be great. Figured out if anybody wants me to come and hang out with them and stream and talk about drawing and stuff, by all means, just let me know. I figured out multiple cameras on StreamYard. Yeah, she did. Did this last week, and it's awesome. It's really cool. Did it with a spirograph too. Saw a spirograph in a store last night while I was Christmas shopping, and thought, what if I spend my birthday money on this? It was at a dollar store. It was $3. Restrained myself, from doing that. Yolanda says, looking cool. Going into the salon now. Thanks for streaming, Chris. Have a great day. Have a great day, Yolanda. Super cool. She's very talented. What are we at? Mariah's contacted me. Okay. So, let's just do one, figure out where we're going to go with this. So, fast and easy is, I think that what I'll end up doing for the other images is that I'll draw the King of Pop. Isn't that what they called him? I'll have the old king here. I'll draw him in. Hopefully, let me put this up so you can see a little bit easier. I'll have Elvis doing his big old little smile on his nose, give it his little bouffant hair, and then I'll have him leaning into the microphone but instead of the microphone, I'm going to have him holding this little 9-button device. He talks about how quick and easy this has made my drawing. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you about this young cat I know named Christopher. And so here he is leaning in like this. And then we'll have another panel where we'll draw his hand, and he's got his finger pressing in on the button. And I'll have the item in his hand. So his fingers are holding it like so. This is how fast I scribble ideas in my head, sorry. So this will continue the narrative, and this will be, okay, here's another fun thing I can do is with that polygonal lasso tool, is that I can move this and twist it, and I can shrink it. Look at that. So that fits better in my head now, because we're working within the parameters of this, and I say, so that will be what will be in the next panel. And then we'll do another shot of our fella singing, and I'll have his hand here. Now this is, once you figure out when you figure out form, okay, and that you can figure out where, as the anatomy works and works in conjunction, you shouldn't have to keep sourcing. You shouldn't have to keep looking back at your source and researching that. You should be able to figure out the way that the body is moving from a different angle than how you drew it before. So that you can change the perspective on things. So here he is hollering in the microphone this way. And then I'm going to have him, I'll foreshorten it here. There's his hand there. There's the microphone there. And we'll do it from this angle, so that we put his body going this. And now he looks like he's having a duet with himself. He's going to duet with himself. And then this is where I go to that polygonal tool. And I can't tell you how much I absolutely love that I can switch things as easily as I've been doing with just buttons. So yeah, I'm not one for talking about things in this regard. So if I'm referring to, I just want a little bit more. There you go. So if I'm telling you guys about a thing, then I kind of like that thing. So here's another one, another shot of him. And what my thought is here on this is a 1970s or 80s photo montage. Remember when you used to go to the photo studios, for those that are of age to have remembered this, and there's a picture of yourself with your hand on your brother's shoulder here in the corner, floating in a circle. And then there's another picture of the two of yous, and you're leaning on something. And the two of yous are in one of the most uncomfortable, not really opposed stances for the picture. Does anybody remember that? I'm drawing it as I'm saying it. This is my idea here of the montage of all this. So I'm going to 70s this sucker up. Let's see what I've been missing. And let's see. Into the salon. StreamYard didn't find my stream, so I changed to Streamlabs. Now I find it. It finds it, but it doesn't work. I'm not sure. Maybe take it off your system and then put StreamYard back on your system. Try that and see if that works for you. Or maybe I don't know how reliable the internet is where you are, but give that a try too. Very good, Christopher, by the way. Oh, hey, thanks. What? What did I miss? Or massage. You can stream private to do a test. Yeah, I have a second regular thing for private conversations with people that you can jump in. That is, I use to test everything before I put it out. You can be brave and go public on the first one. Yeah, well, if you watch my earliest streams of my stream used to be called "No One Wants to Listen to My Podcast," and then when people started following, I had a couple people say, "We want to listen to your podcast. Can you change the title?" So then I changed the title, start of the year, to "Everyone Wants to Listen to My Podcast," and then eventually I just started calling it what it is that I do, and what the book is that's coming out one day. I just call it One Page Comic Extravaganza, or One Page Story Extravaganza is the one that's currently coming out. So, call it what you will, but if you, whatever that is, you'll see over the process of your streaming that things, you'll become more intuitive, and things will just come to you more in an easy way. And you become a narcissistic, raging lunatic. No, that's not true. Miriam says, I did straight streams from YouTube for a year. I don't have a computer, so my view is from the side. Now I have a computer and I do both views. I need an app. There you go. I'll go public. Heck, if I'm doing this, I'll just jump in. Well, don't jump in your computer. You could break it. I can set up my iPad, just do a side view. Yeah, and Miriam does that. As she's working, she's got a camera here, and she's like, "Oh, hi, everybody." I love it. It's fun. It's a fun way to do it. You see my early streams. Oh, they're great. Streaming an iPad for a year using StreamYard. Yep. By the way, Chris has Dee has a measuring yardstick or something like that, where she has a camera attached to it. But if you ever get a chance, and Chris will show you, Chris has the greatest contraption I've ever seen for having a camera hanging above where you're working. It is awesome. It is like, you would never think it would work. It totally works. It's genius. But The no expense, least expensive thing. Yeah, good idea. Oh yeah, the phone, iPad to stream, the phone to monitor and read the chat. Yeah, it works. I have everything running through the system here. The camera's over the traditional area. I've got the screen shared with you for digitally. I got the one camera that I just, it's either me over here or me or here. And it all runs on my second monitor. So, and my phone plays music in my pocket. The top view with the iPad, I used a coffee table on top of my desk. That's great. I can do I could do two views, but I think people like to see your face. I don't know if people want to see my face or not. I don't know. I talk with my hands a lot though, and this makes sense to me when I'm talking. That's kind of why I do it. Chris's camera holder is made of cardboard tubes. It's awesome. It's so awesome. Love it. Okay, so you see the gist of the layout that I've got here, and I might go and change the scale on some of these images and push and pull the shapes a little bit for the organic move of it. And then just for my own edification here, there's I'll put the boxes in. So the text, the title might introduce itself over here, right? And then as we've got these spaces, this is where we want to utilize the text. So Elvis may well move over to here, and then I move the text through here, or I'd probably move up there. So I'd go, like 2, 1 would probably be where Elvis is standing now, 3, 4, and then 5, and then 6 here, because what that makes your eye do, and I'll put this in a layer above, is go this way and turns you back that direction to where the next text box is. I'm sorry, we're on 7. And then, oh, hey, look how easy it is to erase it. Come on, Runsman. So 7, and then 8, 9, 10. Right? And so what that does with the viewer's eye is it makes it go like so. And it snakes around the composition, and it lets all your little interesting bits with your drawn old smiley face here and pressy button. And hey, I'm singing to you. Hey, I'm singing to you. So, but what you're actually doing is taking the starting point with the text and the title and the introduction to the idea, fast and easy, right? Here, I'll switch the color. Fast and easy. And then, what do you mean? And, oh, it's like this. Oh, that's neat. Oh, cool. So it allows you to transition around and move around. And where it comes to the name tag, I'd put, I'd sign the thing down here in the corner because it's non-disruptive to the flow of the text. And at the same time, it still identifies myself as being committed to the work. So I'm really bad, by the way, for signing actual work. So whenever people do get work from me, yell at me to sign it. Whenever people pick up stuff from me, somebody's like, you want to sign it? I've heard that so many times in my life because I always forget. That's why I have the stamp, because I'd forget otherwise. Chris just shows an old webcam I can hook up back from the old days of Skype. See, that's what I've got. I've got a cheap $30 camera. But you don't have to. It's up to you, right? Some people just show what they're working on. Oh, Chris says that too. I don't show my face at all, just my hands. Good points. Experiment with that one. Do a private to check an image and mic before going public. Well, that's a great suggestion. Yeah, always, feel comfortable. I still use Skype to talk to my mom. There you go. She doesn't want any other app. I learned one, got enough. Send me a letter. Write it on a piece of paper and put it in the mail. Oh, that's what my home back in Eastern Maryland. So it was fun times then. There you are. There you go. wouldn't either. There we are. It's well, I'm dressed like a goofball. I clearly am not overly worried about what I wear, but I wear a pretty basic outfit, and I have multiple pairs of the same kind of pants, so I don't have to think during the week. I wear the same pants. Whenever I leave the house, I dress up. So technically, I guess you could say it's pajamas. Well, if you have pajamas, but yeah, you got to be comfortable in whatever you're doing. Maybe wear a Santa hat. Yeah. Okay, so we got the basic layout of our page. It was fast and easy. And that's the idea that I'll be speaking about in this page. And but I'm not going to have it ready until tomorrow. So the principle is fast and easy is a fun suggestion for me. And I think it's, I do a page each day. And this is number 342. 342? 332. I don't know what it is. 342. And it's since the start of the year. I started about January 12, 13, 14, 15, someplace in there. And for doing these pages. And we're on 342 for the year. So my objective goal is to do 365 by the end of the year. And I've got all these pages that are in process right now that I do whenever I have a spare moment. And it's coming together. I don't know if I'll hit the 365 though, unless I put my nose to the grindstone. And I've got 2 commissions to do, and a painting for my biggest supporter. And it's tricky, but I think we'll get there. But fast and easy is how I like to work, so it's kind of a fun suggestion for me. But I just tipped below 5 again, so I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. I'm sorry, I have to maintain my blood sugar because I'm a brittle type 1 diabetic. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. I hope that some of this discussion that we've had about this unit here, and you can see numerous times in the stream about what its name is and its what the type of it is. I think it's the 9-key smart keypad by Vadir. So it's pretty good. I really enjoy it. It's made my processes crazy fast now. So I promote the idea of using this because you can program it for so many things. And I think I'll streamline it as I go and change it as I do. And if it's that easy for me, it's got to be that easy for everybody. But even if you don't use this, allow yourself to utilize opportunities to just experiment, whatever it is. If it's traditional, and I'll work traditionally tomorrow on whatever medium that people in the stream choose for me to work in. So, but experiment, whether it's traditional, whether it's digital, go crazy and have fun. There's nobody to tell you it's wrong. It's a journey. Art is always a journey. And even if this piece doesn't look as successful as the next one and how successful you want that to look, well, you'll be able to refine things more tomorrow because, you've learned things today. So give yourself that opportunity. I don't expect people to be drawing, doing things the way I do them, or to be trying to do a full story page a day. That's for crazy people. But whatever you do, just pursue yourself and enjoy yourself and have fun. Couture says traditional too. Oh, I think you need to see. Go take a look at my Instagram. I work in everything. I can't even explain it. It's just easy to say mixed media. Couture is in Kansas, but Hobbs is from Ireland. My family is from Limerick. My dad's from Denmark, so families in Europe too. There you are. Stream's good balance. Nice clothes and my pink clothes. Oh, I hear you. Lori is the one that keeps me organized, let's be honest. Thanks so much. So helpful. Love you guys. You're also helpful and kind. Oh boy, you say that now. But there are days where we just spend the whole time giving snide looks. There's no talking. Just some days we just do this. That's not true. All right. See you in the PM. See you later, Miriam. Thanks very much for coming. Actually, Mexico. I'll choose for you to 8 on water. What? I'll have to. I don't know what that means, Miriam, but we'll figure it out. I'll see you all over at PM Arts. Oh, excellent. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'm going to try to get over there too. But in the meantime, thanks very much for coming out, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, and look forward to seeing what people are working on. Bye for now. Thanks very much.